A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces. This team can score over 20 points in a quarter without Caitlin Clark. We managed to get it done yesterday. Fourth quarter rolls around. Kelsey Mitchell goes 4 for 5 in the fourth quarter. She takes us home. Last year's MVP, Asia Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. That player right there, Natasha Howard, she came alive in the third quarter, dropping 11 points in the third quarter.
Sophie Cunningham had WNBA fans asking, how is she this good right now? Shooting an incredible 58.1% from 3 in her last 6 games. She torched the Aces when they least expected it. But there's more to this story than stats. Discover how Cunningham's rise is rewriting the narrative for the Fever. Before we move on, I would like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video.
Sophie Cunningham has been on fire these last few games. Heading into the break, coming out of the break, Sophie Cunningham has proven to us she's shooting. I am fairly confident that that ball is going to go in. Sophie Cunningham, 15 points for Sophie Cunningham, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire. You ever play NBA Jam? He's on fire. She had a rough start to the season, but as of late, Sophie Cunningham, yeah, she's deserving of that starting spot, right? She's been deserving of that start.
When Caitlin Clark went down with a groin injury, it felt like the entire basketball world hit pause. This is Caitlin Clark we're talking about, the rookie sensation, the face of the Fever's future, and someone who already feels like a franchise player. Without her, it seemed like the Fever were headed for disaster, especially against the Las Vegas Aces, a team stacked with talent and sitting at the top of the league. The narrative was clear. The Fever relied way too much on Clark, and without her, they'd crumble. Even before tip-off, the Aces looked ready to pounce, probably figuring they had the game locked up from the jump.
We were down at halftime, but we came out in that third quarter, put a whooping on the Las Vegas Aces, beat them in that third quarter 27-15. Our defense held pat, our offense showed up. Arian McDonald hits a big 3 to ice the game. It's over, it's over, it's over. Shout out to Kenny Smith and Natasha Howard. Salute to you. There's not too much I can say other than salute to you, Natasha Howard. Let's get right into the box score. Natasha Howard, 18 points, 11 points in the third quarter, folks. 6 for 9 from the field.
But what happened next completely flipped that script. The Fever weren't just fine, they were phenomenal, and leading the charge was Sophie Cunningham. Now, if you've been paying attention to Cunningham lately, her recent form isn't just impressive, it's borderline unreal, shooting 58.1% from beyond the arc over her last 6 games. That's the kind of stat reserved for legends. But it wasn't just the sheer volume of threes, it was the timing. Every time the Aces tried clawing their way back into the game, Cunningham was there with a deep dagger to keep them at arm's length. It was like she had a built-in radar for high-pressure moments. And she wasn't alone. Kelsey Mitchell came alive in the fourth when the game hung in the balance. 9 points in the final quarter from Mitchell might not sound earth-shattering, but it was the way she came through when the odds were staring the Fever in the face. At one point, Coach Stephanie White pulled her aside and simply said, "Let it fly."
Kelsey, her and AB struggled the majority of this game. I gotta keep it a buck. Her and AB both struggled a majority of this game. At one point, Kelsey Mitchell was 4 for 14, I believe. 4 for 14, 3 for 14, something atrociously bad. Minimize her turnovers compared to last game from 5 down to 3. 4 personal fouls. She had 2 personal fouls in the first quarter, and then she settled down, didn't foul nearly as much. Wasn't the best game as far as efficiency goes, but for Kelsey, I mean, look, folks, and you know, I'm Kelsey Mitchell's biggest fan. I'm a fan of Kelsey Mitchell and her game. In the first half, Kelsey Mitchell was 2 for 10. Let that sink in.
That no hesitation advice unlocked something in Mitchell, and after that, she couldn't miss. These weren't just buckets, these were game-sealing moments. The Fever didn't win by leaning on individual brilliance alone though. This was all about making a collective statement. With Clark sidelined, they proved they weren't a one-player act, they were a complete team, and it's that mindset that brought the Aces to their knees. How do you stop A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces? You make them look unrecognizable. That's exactly what the Fever did. The reigning WNBA champs came into this game riding high, confident as ever, and why wouldn't they be? A'ja Wilson just became the fastest player in league history to score 5,000 career points. Not to mention, the Aces have been blowing teams out all season long. On paper, it looked like another easy win for the league's best team, but the Fever had other plans, and what happened next was a defensive clinic nobody saw coming.
0 turnovers for Natasha Howard. There was no, let me go coast to coast, grab a rebound, go coast to coast without giving an outlet pass. There was none of that. There was none, let me dribble into a double team, look around, throw it to the other team. There was none of that. Aaliyah Boston, 6 for 18 from the field, 13 points, 10 boards, didn't get to the free throw line at all. Aaliyah Boston did not get to the free throw line at all. There was none up, I can't cap. There was none of that. Natasha Howard played an extremely sound game, and we don't win this game without Natasha Howard putting in the work that she put in tonight. Natasha Howard, salute to you.
Let's break this down. The Aces were held to just 54 points, their lowest scoring game of the season by far. And it wasn't like they just had an off night. The Fever forced it. The Aces shot a season low 26.2% from the field. Think about that. Almost 3 out of every 4 shots they took didn't even go in. That's not a fluke. That's pure defense. And leading the Fever's effort was none other than Aaliyah Boston. The rookie played like anything but, putting up 20 points and grabbing 7 rebounds while anchoring the team's interior defense. She was everywhere, cutting off passing lanes, contesting shots, and making life miserable for every Aces player in the paint. Natasha Howard brought more of the same intensity, notching another double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. Her physicality on the boards and ability to disrupt plays was a perfect complement to Boston's dominance. And don't forget the Fever's relentless pressure. They forced the Aces into 19 turnovers. 19. That's the kind of chaos that completely disrupts even the most polished teams. And just when the Aces thought they could make one final push, Ari McDonald shut the door. With 35 seconds left, she drained a clutch three-pointer, leaving no doubt who this game belonged to. The Fever's defense wasn't just historic, it was a statement. They showed they can beat anyone, anywhere, with more than just scoring. This team is here to make noise. The Fever's win over the Aces didn't just grab headlines, it sent a message. This isn't Caitlin-Clark's team with a supporting cast. It's a deep roster filled with players ready to rise when it matters most. Sophie Cunningham's red-hot shooting, Kelsey Mitchell's clutch work, and Aaliyah Boston's two-way dominance proved they can take down anyone, even the reigning champs. And the best part? They did this without their franchise star. When Clark returns, this squad gets even scarier. The Fever aren't just rebuilding, they're building a contender. So, what do you think? Are the Fever destined for a championship? Let us know.